Welcome to the Spinwhiz Comics Show.
Whoa.
From Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us for exclusive interviews with the publishers bringing you the newest titles in indie comics, webcomics, movies, and more.
No way.
And now, here's your host, Jeff Palumbo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. How the heck are you? I'm telling you, tonight, for those of you not watching the debate between Vice President Pence and Senator Harris, we're glad to have you. Hopefully, I have not heard of a lot of people that are watching that. We don't talk about politics on this show, so if you're looking for me to get into that with my guest tonight, you are in the wrong show. I'm sure Fox or CBS or NBC or MSNBC or any of those channels that just want your money are definitely going to talk about it. But we don't charge advertising here, so that's what we're doing. Anyway, it is Wednesday night. Thank y'all for being here. It's hump day. Hope you're all getting your hump day on, which is great. I have an amazing guest tonight. So I'll introduce him in just a second. So I've been following this dude for probably 2 years. I've known who he is because I love his style. I've always liked his style. He and I became acquaintances about a year ago, give or take, just kind of going back and forth saying what's up. Nothing crazy. We have never met at a show, and then COVID hit, which I was going to start going to New York Comic Con and San Diego, and I was in Chicago, and I was going to do all of them. So eventually I'd get to meet this dude. Turns out that he wanted to come on the show because A, he's awesome, B, he's my age and we're going to shoot the shit about a lot of 80s and 90s stuff, and C, or 3, I can't remember what I started with, Jonathan Hendrick was on 2 weeks ago for talking about the recount, and Bryan ended up being in here. So he's like, yo, I'll be on. Like, just randomly I invited him. He was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. This is going to be one of the best things ever. So without further ado, let me bring on my guest tonight, because you didn't come here to talk to me and look at my bald head. You really came to look at his deliciousness. Bryan SilverBaX in the house.
Oh,
what's up?
Drink it in.
Dude, you're losing weight like crazy.
Yeah, I got to get back in the gym. I had yesterday I had a colonoscopy, which is loads of fun.
I bet.
So after that, and to this point right now, I still don't, like, my insides feel like a balloon. Like I feel bloated as shit. So I just didn't feel like I wanted to go to the gym today and take the risk of doing anything that would either cause a lot of gas to expand at once or to shit myself. So
I was gonna go. That's what I was gonna go with. I'm like, if you're on the bench and you're repping 250, and all of a sudden you're just like, and everybody around you like, dude, COVID.
But yeah, yeah, there are some people that wear their mask while they're on the treadmills and stuff, and I just, man, that is like, I would just think, just don't go out. Mm-hmm. But I don't have the lung power to push through the mask and the amount of exercise. But thank you for noticing that I am losing weight. So in total, I'm not doing anything spectacular, but over the course of 3 months, I've lost about 23 to 24 pounds.
Damn.
So it's not a whole lot of weight to come off, but I'm losing it, and it's kind of like on a more permanent. Like it's the type of weight, it's lifestyle changes that will keep the weight off, And
you're gaining muscle, though.
I hope so.
So, I mean, I would assume that you are. From the pictures, I mean, I can tell the difference. I mean, now I sound like some creepy stalker.
No. But I've actually I have a Fire Stick that plays photos of me and the grandkids and stuff. And I can see that around December, dude, like my face was very, very over full. So I can see that there has been a little bit of a difference.
Good for you, man. Well, congratulations. I'd like to say that I work out, but I don't. How tall are you? You're over
I am 6 feet.
6 even?
Yes, sir.
And what do you weigh now?
255, 254, somewhere in there.
Of pure muscle. Good for you.
Of pure muscle, yeah.
Good.
But yeah, so I'm doing better. The colonoscopy thing's all good. The weight loss is good. But let's talk comic books.
Yeah.
Right now, I've got a Kickstarter going on. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Nope, but that's why we're here. Let's share some links. What do you got for me?
All right. Well, I don't know that. Do I have to? Shit.
Just tell me what it's called. I'll find it on Kickstarter.
All right. Well, I can send you this link, but it's tough for me to talk and do shit at the same time. I'm just not good like that.
Tell me the name of it. I'll find it.
Here, look at that. Boom. Got it. It's the KERRA Prime Handbook. So many people understand that I created Loggerhead a while back, and I made the first issue come out from Scout Comics. But Loggerhead lives in this world where there's a lot of other beings that I created long before Loggerhead was a thing. So this is the handbook that Loggerhead was actually born from. It's like the handbook to my universe. It tells you about different characters and their backstory, and has little pieces of art inside. And it's like the old Marvel Universe handbooks that I used to collect, just because I wanted to know how tall they were, what their favorite weapons were, and all their backstory. And I really loved looking at them, so I tried to get those all the time. This is that, but for my characters.
That's awesome. Well, I dropped it in chat. So those of you that are here with us on Facebook Live, it's in chat. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, which means, after I've already pushed it, live is over, just scroll below and I will have all these links for you. So that way you can jump in. So I'm going to click on it right now because
so there's a little
20
video.
days to go.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of time. And today I just started a new tier where people could, I'm so Kickstarter rookie, naive. Like, I don't follow enough people's Kickstarters, and I haven't done enough to know how to do stuff correctly. So
it looks like you're doing it right.
Today, I dropped the option for somebody to work with their local comic book shop and get their very own cover, like get 30 copies of the handbook with their cover on it, shipped to, you know what I'm saying? Like the option to get that done, to create their own exclusive. I don't know. Maybe that's something somebody can do. But I know that Kickstarters make a lot of money by, you get the super rare gold foil cover, and then you can get the diamond encrusted cover, and then we got the one with no trade dress on it. I was like, I don't want to deal with all that shit. So I made all these great covers, all these great artists contributed, and I just said $10 a piece. I don't care which cover you want. I wanted you to be able to have, and so the way I think my Kickstarter is different. All you do is pledge to buy a cover, and then at the end of the campaign, I'll ask you which cover it was that you'd like to get. So you don't even have to commit to your cover choice at this time. You just have to commit to you getting one.
I love it. Good way to do it. And you got some talent with you, too. So Steph Wilson is one of them, Adam Fields. Jason.
Yeah, so Steph Wilson, by the way, this is his very first variant cover that he did, because I had just saw his stuff on Instagram, and I messaged him and said, hey, would you be interested in doing like a variant cover for this comic book one day I'm going to do? So I got about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I asked him to do this for me. And he's like, well, I've never done a comic book cover. So he did this, sent it to me, and I held on to it because I didn't have a use for it until right now. And it turned out that was the first time he had ever done a variant cover for somebody.
That's awesome. So you also have Adam Fields with you, Jeff Gwynn, or Jeffrey Gwynn, excuse me. He goes by Jeffrey.
It's actually Geffrey.
Is it really?
Yes, because his mother pronounced it Geffrey. So if you ever see him in person, although it looks like Jeffrey, it is pronounced Geffrey.
Got it. Good to see. Note, and then Jason, I've never been able to say his last name.
I think it's just hair. Like a hair on your head.
That's why I wouldn't have guessed that. Tim Smith, I got that. I get Brian Dawson, and then Armando Ramirez.
Yep.
Dude,
all of them are very, very super talented individuals, and most of them I've met in person. I think I just haven't met Armando in person.
That's
or
awesome.
Brian Dawson, or Adam Fields. Well, maybe about half of them then.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, let's talk a little bit about where this came from, which is Loggerhead. How long have you been doing that?
Like I said, I made this. Here's my original handbook thing that I made for myself in 2016 or 17, something like that. And this was much like what I've got on Kickstarter now, but Loggerhead was just one of the characters in this book. And I was like, I had shown the guys. I'd started working with Scout. They liked my Metal Shark Bro,
which was
my Metal
awesome.
Shark Bro cover that I did as fan art, and they asked if they could have that be their store variant. And I said, "Oh heck yeah! Kind of why I did this thing." And then it turned in, "Can you do a cover for this? Can you do a cover for this?" So I worked with them on several covers, and I sent this, and I showed them this. I was like, "Hey, I'm also working on this thing, by the way, just to let you." And he was like, "Well, let me take a look at it." So, fast forward, he's like, "Hey, I suggest you use this character Loggerhead that you did. I like his backstory. I think it fits your skill set, and I think you should do a horror story with him." So just based on those suggestions is how we landed with Loggerhead be the first to come out.
I love it. And what about the rest, though?
We're working on that. So there's another character that's in production right now called Apex, and he is a like killer whale looking kind of guy. So that's about halfway complete. I've got another. There's another Loggerhead story that's coming out where Loggerhead's going to meet a new character created by Jonathan Hedrick.
Oh, damn.
So I started working with Jonathan Hedrick to. I have united with Jonathan to create more KERRA Prime content. So he created this character to be the yin to the yang of Loggerhead.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk about it on the show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's not super secret, but it's just say it's a cybernetic polar bear thing.
I love polar bears and cybernetics. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm in.
So it's very 90s, but so we're having a lot of fun with that. So that book has already been written, and it was written by Jonathan, and the character was created by Jonathan, along with my guidance to make sure that it fit inside the KERRA Prime universe. And then now it's off to the artist who's doing the pages, and that it's going to be really, 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 really fun. Plus, I've also got a children's story that I did with Loggerhead.
You do know that Loggerhead's a horror story, right?
Yeah. And so what Loggerhead is inside the book, there's cursing and there's blood, which leads to a limited fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to I chibied them all up, and then I made them and I wanted to tell stories so kids could like the character design and want to buy stickers and T-shirts and comic books or anything Loggerhead related based on how he performed in this children's tale.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, that's brand extension.
Here's the cool thing about the children's tale. It's got like 8 to 10 different people from the KERRA Prime universe because they're playing baseball inside of the children's story. So we're going to get to see chibi forms of all kinds of characters and all kinds of other characters, and they're going to be playing baseball.
I love it. That's awesome. And
that's in the works now too. As
cool as Loggerhead is, you might actually make more money off of that
a PG version.
Yeah. Well, just because it's expanded to, horror is very niche. Even though a lot of people love it and a lot of people buy a lot of it.
Yeah, so, I'm working on that too.
Yeah, I figured you might be. But I think you might have the ability to really get into that. I mean, that's what Marvel does. They use all their stuff, all their comics for marketing.
That was my thought exactly. Like there's some really deep stuff that you're talking about inside of Spider-Man when he's losing ants and breaking necks of girlfriends and all this stuff that's going on. So it's not exactly kid reading, but then you have like Peter Porker and you have these Scotty Young covers and stuff, and they're designed for kids to like them. So just because the true Loggerhead is a horror type story doesn't mean that we can't see him do more kid friendly stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to just, if I do nothing else, at least have this one version out there. I may not do any more, but I could say, oh, your kid likes it? Well, check it out. I did this one little kid story.
I love it. Dude, I think it's dope. And I think it's going to be awesome.
It's fun, man. And it does something for me inside. Like there's a lesson. There's something to to be learned within the story. Not anything new for you and I, but it's all about, can't we all just get along? Like, but in this form that kids will find fun and easy to understand.
I love it. I think that's great. So are you writing and drawing?
On that, no. I try to do the least amount of drawing as possible.
Yeah, but you're good at it.
I'm good at certain things. I can do some covers and make some nice one still image look good or look acceptable. But when it comes to doing pages and telling that sequential story, I don't have enough skill to pull that off the way I think it needs to be pulled off. So that's when I will concede and say, you're a better storyteller with sequential art than I am, or you're faster, or you kind of understand what I'm saying. It takes I would beat myself up when I tried to do panels myself, and it's just for the amount of stress and everything, and the amount of the amount of headache that I get from not being good at it and still attempting it. I'm willing to pay someone else that can get the job done, you know. And since I am an artist, if there's anything that comes back that I need to adjust, I can still do that on my own.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a good writer, but I'm okay. But I'm the same way. Like, I can't draw, so I need to hire good people to do my work.
And see, I don't know if I'm a good writer either, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to write enough content that someone's going to be able to figure it out. Like, yeah, I'm going to put enough stuff out there to where you're either like, oh, this dude's a pretty decent storyteller, or you're going to be like, for gosh sake, stop writing.
Well, I mean, people keep gravitating towards you and they keep buying your stuff. I mean, you have 20 days left and you almost have twice as much as you wanted for KERRA Prime.
Yeah, well, for me, I readjusted my plan halfway through the Kickstarter. A lot of Kickstarters have those stretch goals and self-induced stretch goals to encourage more buying, like as far as like dollars go. But I was like, I really don't want dollars because I don't have a lot of high-end stuff on my Kickstarter. So I'm not going to have that $100 million Kickstarter project because I don't have a tier where you can give $10,000 for the diamond encrusted version. I said, my Kickstarter is based on $10 and that's it. It's really all I'm charging. So I switched my focus to the backers. It's the amount of backers. I want to touch as many eyeballs as I can with my stuff. So that's why I want my new idea is to set stretch goals based on how many backers I've got. That's what I've done. So we've reached the first two stretch goals on the backers where we achieved 75, and then now everybody's going to get a free trading card in their mail orders.
I think it's great. I mean, the reason that Spinwhiz Comics is doing what it is now and increasing popularity, thank God, is because my Kickstarter failed 8 years ago.
Oh, really? And that was what spawned this whole endeavor?
Yep. So I guess it was worth it. I mean, I'm probably going to re-kick Chimera, my comic, because it's a psychological thriller. And now I have, like, there's people on Spinwhiz that would probably be like, oh, well, shit, yeah, we got your back. Like, we'll toss you $5 just to get the name back out there, right? Because our biggest problem in this industry, in my opinion, and I will say in my professional opinion, since I got some background in that, is the fact that we, as non-Marvel and DC, lack general usership and viewership.
Yeah.
A lot of us are like, dude, I got 1,000 people to read it. That's not anything. That is 0.004% of readers in North America. And what I'm trying to do, and the reason I got this, is to tell everybody, listen, your digital content is amazing marketing content, and it can broaden how many users you get, how many people read it. So then when you do a Kickstarter, your user base is 5 times bigger. Your chances are 5 times bigger.
And it allows there's no, I mean, once you recoup what you put into buy, there's no overhead to it. There's no cost of the paper. There's no cost of the ink.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. And you're going to make your money back. So if you see it as a sunk marketing cost, even though people can buy it on our site, not everything's free on our site. And we tell everybody, if you read it, if you like it, buy it. If you can't buy it, tell everybody you know about it.
Oh, so they can read it on your site, but they'll have to be actively logged in. It's not like they download a PDF and look at it, and once you get to the end, it goes away.
No, it's locked. They can't download it. No,
so
they can only read it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that way, and then when we
it's like reading it in the store and not buying it.
That's right. And if you really like it, grab it. And if you don't, and with print on demand coming next month, or direct shipment coming in the next month or so.
Oh, nice segue.
Then, why, thank you. You'll be able to order right from the app as well. So if they're reading it from the app, they can just click a button and it'll be drop shipped to them.
Oh, right on.
So, but that's kind of that whole thing, and I think you specifically. Well, let's transition this a minute. Community among us, and I'll actually remove myself from that, because while I'm part of the community, but I'm still not considered a creator. I'm considered more of a business guy, I guess, or something.
All right.
A friendly type. I'm a friend type to the
a brother in arms.
Yeah, to the comic community. But you get guys in there like you and Jonathan and Adam and Mike Tiener and all these other guys that literally overlap with everybody. And we're Jonathan and I were talking when we were on 2 weeks ago that our community is actually really small. Like, everybody knows if something goes down, everybody knows about it the next day.
I guess so. I think even within like the not upper echelon, it breaks down into just like, I don't know, man. I don't think I must not listen. I must not listen because I don't hear a bunch of grumblings and inside information. Maybe because I'm not looking, though.
I hear it all. But maybe that's my position too.
Yeah, I really just scroll through my feeds to see if anybody I knew, if I'm friends with, are doing things that I could throw a like on something, or just for looking at pictures of new art or comic book stuff, or maybe a funny meme. But I hardly ever click the link to go somewhere.
Right. There's
which is probably like, oh, check out this story. Click here for the full story. So I just won't be clicking.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole thing about that's a strategy beyond a strategy. But I think what I meant more is the fact that you are well liked by everybody.
I try. Well, I think if that were to be true, I don't 100% know it to be true, but if that were to be true,
I think it is.
I think it's because I'm very genuine. I don't think I've dishonestly. I think that's something about me that maybe not everybody does, is the honesty thing.
True.
So I'm hoping that maybe they're just like, you know what? Even if his art isn't that great, I still appreciate his tenacity. I appreciate the way he helps others. I appreciate the way he conducts himself. That type stuff is what I think people can find more exciting about me than the art. I hope. Well, or maybe one day it'll be like his writing is good too.
Yeah, I honestly see you post covers most of the time, and people go crazy over them. Like, you get tons of likes. So I don't think that's a problem. I think that what happened is people gravitated to you as a person because you don't bullshit people. You're not rude to them. You're just, hey, what's up? And that is the end of the conversation normally, from what I can tell. And but you back up. You don't. Let me see. How do I say this? I can appreciate what you do because you don't use your skill as a springboard to being popular or being friendly with people. You use it as just a piece of who you are. You're friendly because you're friendly, not because you're trying to get people to read your art. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
No. Yes, that is what I'm doing. I think if I just be me long enough, then people will come to me, and I don't want to be anything that I'm not to encourage other people to look at me. Mm-hmm. So that's.
Well, I congratulate you because
thank you.
I think you're doing a great job. So let's talk a little bit more. We're at 25 minutes, so we.
I got plenty of stuff. Like, let's talk about this stuff that I'm doing with this stuff coming up.
Bring it. Bring all that.
I told you that I'm working with Jonathan, right?
I heard of that Jonathan Hendrick guy.
So Jonathan is really. We are the next couple of projects. Once he's got this recount thing that he's got coming out next month
via Scout Comics.
Once that comes out through Scout Comics with a SilverBaX cover available. Once that comes out, but it's 4 issues, so it'll be 4 months. And then we've already started working. He's worked with Loggerhead, so he'll have a Loggerhead project coming out. And then we're currently writing a space zombie type story together. Like, we're writing that together as a team. And we're also gonna work on a new horror slasher kind of Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees type thing. We've got our main character figured out, and we've got what causes him to come into existence and what the teenagers would have to do to escape his wrath. So we've got all that figured out, but we can't focus on that until we get this other story done, which we've already we have about half the story plotted out.
That's awesome.
But so they're all going to be tied together through KERRA Prime. There's going to be elements in every one of these stories that connects and lets you know that it's just part of this big world. Even though they're not all fighting Loggerhead or they're not all dealing with the same characters, they do exist in the same world. And that's world building. That is what people like about the MCU shit. So we're going to bring that inside of KERRA Prime. And I think that'll make it a pretty fun and interesting way to keep viewers engaged.
I want to put my character into your universe.
And then see, that's something that we can do. We can do a one-off story and just see how it goes. Holler at me, because it's nothing for me to give you the guidelines and say, let's just do this, because the plan for Jonathan and I is we're going to come up with 3 stories that take place in the KERRA Prime universe. They don't have to be tied together. We're going to take 3 stories. We're going to combine them and then do a Kickstarter for the Tales from KERRA Prime. And it'll have those 3 stories in it. And then later we'll pitch those 3 stories back to Scout to see if they want to publish them, right? And then if they don't, then they'll just live in the Kickstarter universe. And then Jonathan and I will put together the next set of stories that are going to be in the next graphic novel. Then we're going to do a Kickstarter. So we're going to do it's going to be like Marvel Comics Presents, but it'll be like full stories.
I love it.
If that makes any sense. So we're going to do that.
But tons of sense.
So then if I wanted to do something with you, then that story would be in one of those things. And then we'd work out a type of payment based on, all that shit behind the scenes. But
all that
that's where that would work in.
Yeah, it hadn't come from Jonathan. It was something I was going to do. And I was actually talking to one of the guys at another company about it. And I'll pitch it to you, and you can tell me what you think, because you can tell me if it's garbage or not, because it goes one or two ways. Basically, what it is, it's a horror guy.
Explain that.
Like it's your like a Michael Myers or something like that.
Okay.
But what he does is he hunts and wants to kill the other horrific characters in a universe, because he gains his power through people fearing him. So he's actually hunting. So he's hunting down other iconic horrors, yes.
Yeah, but in a world with copyrights, who's he really going to hunt down?
Well, that's when you open a world that has copyrights. There's all sorts of ways around that. You know what I mean?
It could be a generic hockey mask guy.
It could be whatever it is. That has been spinning around my head for years and years and years as to how you do that. I mean, I'm not saying it goes after Jason and Freddy and the others. What I'm saying is it becomes part of almost like a reverse Infinity War.
Reverse Infinity War. He's trying.
Because you have like a Thanos guy, but instead of him, Thanos is trying to wipe out people, right?
Yeah.
This guy doesn't care about. He doesn't want to kill people, because the more they fear him, the stronger he gets. But he has all these other horrific characters that are like, for instance, like Loggerhead, that people are scared of. And he's like, I got to go take him out because he is.
But then that way, if we ever
that.
did a crossover, one of our characters would have to lose.
Well, I'm pretty sure that all your characters would jump together and just wipe him out.
Yeah, but I think you would want to be able to tell this. Like, I think if you could fashion this in a way to, I don't know, because I had a friend of mine who created a character that could time warp or jump through space and time or something.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was he took the character and said, all of his friends that have indie stuff, have my character zap into your world on accident, interact with your character a little bit, and then zap back.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he's going to have a whole book of that, and he's going to be able to include all of his friends. But if you had a character that could somehow interact with Jim's horror story, and your guy could go lose over there, and then you could take that same character and then you could go talk to Jill, who has a completely different audience with her character, who's in the horror world. If you could somehow make a character that it was easy to cross-pollinate with all these other genres and have them tied to your thing, that might be fun. That seems like it could be feasible.
Yeah, well, even if he's not trying to kill him, what I don't want to do is end a copyright, because that's not fun. What you want to do is make it iconic, so if he didn't kill him, what he does is might capture him. So the reason for that is if you read parts of religion,
which I probably haven't.
Well, what is fun is that people say that the reason the Greek gods died is because the Roman gods came in, and it's not because they didn't kill them. The Roman gods didn't kill the Greek gods. More people started believing in the Roman gods, which deleted the Greek power. So technically, there's still Greek gods somewhere. It's just that nobody believes in them. And so what this guy is trying to do is the same type of thing, but he feeds off of fear instead of people praying to him. So what he's basically trying to do is remove them from the picture, even though maybe he captures them, seals them away, then they all break out, and there's a massive rumble against him in which he utterly fails, and then there's horror back in the world. They're like, where'd all these guys come from? It's Loggerhead again. So
that sounds expensive and complicated.
It does. Well, that's why I haven't done it.
I do think there's this. I think you're onto something with the Monster Hunter angle.
Yeah, but I wanted him to be a bad guy. I didn't want him to be a good guy.
Yeah. He could be your self-created Michael Myers.
Yeah, a worse.
That's your character, right? And then maybe he's going around and tracking down just the cryptid things. Like he's got to catch a Bigfoot, and he's got to catch. Like they put a curse on him. Yeah. And the only way that he can remove the curse to become real again is to take out all the other things that aren't real.
Yeah. So
then you could have him fight like Santa Claus. You could have him fight the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, he has to kill Loch Ness.
Yeah, but he has to do all these things that aren't fucking copywritten.
Well, Loch Ness Monster isn't copywritten.
That's what I'm saying, but Michael Myers is.
But that would be fun. Yes, that is the same. That's the gist. So
then now he's got to go kill Frankenstein. And so I think you could do it. And I think that would be fun. Yes. If that was your question.
I very rarely get to brainstorm with other writers. Because I also have a children's book that is actually going to be sweet, but I'm
going to be.
Well, it's not written. That my son is 8 years old. I know you have grandkids that are a little bit younger than that, I think.
My oldest grandkid is almost 3.
Yeah.
He's like 2.5.
Right. So my 8-year-old is scared of the dark.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to be writing a story for kids as to how they actually defeat being scared of the dark, like the things that are in the dark.
All right.
And it's just going to be, it's meant to be a kid's story to help kids better understand that the dark is just, that's all it is dark. But they come up with their own special powers. They do all this other stuff, and it's going to be really fun and really cute. with a type of badassness to it.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's going to be, I'm writing that, the first outline I've already done, or excuse me, the first outline was scratched. And I'm actually starting on composition of it, and it's going to, but I'm going to get somebody like, I don't want it to be a comic book. I want it to be more of an illustrated book.
Yeah.
But that could easily tie into later on down the line, something like these bad guys could be, again, more.
Oh, wow. So you'd create like this loosely connected universe.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the self-made horror icon tracking down, like maybe he's got like this book of whoever put the curse on him. You can make that up. Whoever put the curse on him gave him this notebook, and the names like magically appear like Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll open up and say, "Oh, you got to find Bigfoot." And then once he kills him, he opens up the next page, and then Bigfoot's gone, and it's got another. So that way that you don't have to know all the things he's going to track right now when you're writing.
Right. And one might pop up and be like, ah, damn.
Yeah. Like, oh, you got to go catch the Jersey Devil. Like, dude, I think you got something that could be really fun.
It could be fun. I'm not going to lie to you.
And the fact that he's a bad guy, I don't know how we get that across. I don't know how you would get that across and have him be the main character. Like, I don't know how that would work.
I'm pretty sure he'd have to use people and kids as bait. Like he's not a good guy. Like he might have to, take 3 or 4 people and kill them and spread them all out all over the place. And, he's not a good dude by any means. He's a horror guy, horror character.
Yeah, but we do have to have some sort of wanting him to. Yeah, it'd be a fun story to work with.
Mm-hmm. Like trying to find a leprechaun.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, then you could even go like extremely comical with it. Like when Lobo went to heaven.
Yeah.
And then Lobo went to hell. Like you could just kind of like, all right, he's got to go kill the Tooth Fairy. We could either be really, really like stringent and realistic with it, or we could go kind of just over the top, Zombieland crazy Scotty Young shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So something to think about. It could be a fun thing to do to jump them in. It's I'm still have to do Chimera. So Chimera issue 2 is already outlined, with 19 and 20 already outlined as well, which are the end.
Uh-huh.
And but this is something that I really want to get into, and I really want to help my son get through some stuff. And he talked about writing and getting some ideas together. So I'm going to use what he's scared of as the bad guys in the book.
Oh, okay.
So that he can feel like, how are we going to beat him? And it'd be fun for him and I to do that anyway.
Oh, it'd be awesome. It's a nice thing. Like you'll have that when it's all said and done, and he's 19-year-old graduating high school or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's the hope. And that's a whole nother thing. So I think you and I could talk about that for hours. Just again, it's like hanging out with Jonathan Hendrick as well, because that dude has so many cool ideas.
Well, that's part of the thing. Dangerous. It's which ones do you want to? Which ones can I afford to mess with right now? Mm-hmm. Which ones would be better served if I left them on the vine a little bit longer?
Mm-hmm.
Or which ones do I have to have a certain person around me to enjoy it? Like there's so much going on, and for me, I'll almost forget where the right piece of fruit was that I had the other day. Mm-hmm. There's just so much. So I can see that being a problem.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to call them, but both are good stories. And Chimera is a good story too, from what people have told me. They really like it. It's just getting to that point. And again, running a company on the side, working full time, running a platform doesn't leave for a lot of writing. So
working full time outside of the working full time for the platform.
Yes.
All right. So you do have something that's totally unrelated to generating Spinwhiz.
Oh yeah, I mean my full-time job is working with Lenovo.
All right.
So doing all their esports strategy globally keeps me pretty busy. For education, allow me to add that caveat in case anybody from Lenovo is watching and they're like, dude, he doesn't run the entire strategy. I run the education and those verticals that are extending off of that, not the professional side.
Yeah, don't give him any shit, man. Back off.
Seriously, fudge. Damn. So, listen, we're on 40 minutes, but let's talk a little bit more, just because I rarely get to talk to people my age. Usually everybody's young and still has great ideas, and they're all pumped up about life, and they don't have kids.
I'm just trying to get shit done before I die.
That's what I'm saying. So we were talking briefly beforehand. So before we started the stream, Bryan and I were talking about 80s and 90s movies and stuff like that, and I said that there was a specific movie that I'm going to keep under the cover right now in case I do grab it, that I was finding the rights to. If you could, out of the 80s, late 70s, 80s, could be cartoon, could be movie, could be book, that you would like to grab the licensing to and either A, reboot, or B, extend, or prequel it. Let's just say you're going to add to it somehow.
Man,
what would it be?
I should have had some time to think about that. You know what? I guess right off the bat, I'm going to say I want Big Trouble Little China.
Oh, good job.
I want Big Trouble Little China, and I don't know if I would want to do a before, an after, a right after, or a 10 years later, but I think there's so much fun with those characters with, Jack Burton, and, the relationship that he had with Yang, wasn't that his name? Like, that'd be a fun little thing to explore, like maybe their first meeting, or we could just follow some more of Lopan stuff, maybe not even involving Jack Burton. I think there's so much to unpack with Big Trouble Little China that it's a huge disservice to not have anything even remotely connected to that.
Yeah, I agree. I would do War Games.
Oh, see, that one didn't hit it with me. Like, for me, it was Big Trouble Little China, and it was Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child.
Oh, Golden Child was great.
I mean, I want the knife.
Yeah, I want the knife, please.
Yeah, like so. Then, if I were to pick that one, then it would be like, who was the snake lady behind the thing? And then so there's all sorts of fun stuff. Like, those are the two movies that I think my brother and I watched the most and still continue to watch regularly now in our adult, many years later.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I might as well tell anybody because it's not going anywhere anyway. I wanted to get The Last Starfighter.
See, I like The Last Starfighter. I don't remember much about the specifics, but I know that I plagiarized this for a school paper when I was in 5th grade. And I said I was the one that was playing video games and I got sucked up by aliens. So,
and you got an A+ for it.
I did get an A+, and I had to draw cool pictures because it was like you write 2 sentences and then you had to draw a little picture to go with it, and then you write 2 sentences. It was on that brown paper. I guess in a Big Chief notepad. You remember Big Chief?
Yeah.
I think it was in a Big Chief notepad. Fucking Big
gosh.
Chief. Taking it back.
Holy crap.
I didn't think of that till just now. Big Chief.
I would also love to do extend Lost Boys.
See, I did. I think I've only seen that movie once. And I know that it has a huge amount of people that just appreciate it, and a huge fandom and everything that goes with it. I just haven't given it the rewatch with my adult eyes.
I think you'll love it.
Yeah, well, I'm not a huge vampire guy. That doesn't it's not I'm not a huge vampire guy, so that will not sway me. But I did I'm a fan of Corey Feldman and all the 80s stuff, the Burbs. Maybe even the Burbs. If we could take the Burbs, what were the Klopeks doing before they moved to the subdivision?
Yeah. Wow.
Let's explore the Klopeks.
Wow. See, I only saw that once.
Oh, I only saw the Burbs. The Burbs is really, really. Oh, I love the Burbs. That's another one from that time period that I've watched a million times. But Corey Feldman was like the neighbor, having all of his friends over for a party, just watching the people in the neighborhood just do stupid shit. It was hilarious.
I would be worried. Let's talk about movies that you would really be worried about trying to hit, like something iconic like The Goonies.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be doing that.
They've been saying that for a decade. Since the internet came out.
They said they were going to be playing they were going to have the kids of the kids, right? I think that's what I heard a long time ago.
Supposedly, but, I would love to do another story, but it's not that there were a lot of plot holes in that movie. Let's just say it was not a perfect movie. It's not like Back to the Future.
No.
But it is so iconic that if you try it, it has to be.
Yeah, but see, they've done that already and failed at like, what was that last Total Recall? That was terrible.
That was a piece of shit.
Well, you know what? It wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't Total Recall. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the RoboCop movie, like, that was not. It was a decent movie, but it wasn't a good RoboCop movie.
It wasn't good. They weren't good Terminator movies. The last 3 Terminator movies sucked.
I did not mind the Genesis that much, but I really enjoyed the one that just came out.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. So caveat. Except for
well,
the last one, I just got it.
That one is the jammy jam.
Really?
Yes. It does a good job for me. It does a good job for me in storytelling.
Damn. Okay. Well, I mean, I have it over here. I just haven't watched it.
Yes, I really, really, really liked the way that they tried to pick up all the pieces.
Mm-hmm. What about Weird Science?
See, man, I didn't watch a whole bunch of those Nerd Gets the Girl movies.
I definitely did, because I was the nerd that did not get the girl.
Yeah. Oh, another one I would love that my brother and I watched, Real Genius.
Oh, yeah.
With the guy who's getting the popcorn, he's doing like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, give it to me, Lord.
Yeah.
With Val Kilmer.
Well, and Val Kilmer, I'm pretty sure he's not doing anything right now. Like, you could probably get him for cheap.
No, but he had the throat cancer or something, so now he's got a tracheotomy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so now I think he has a permanent tracheotomy, so he's always wearing a scarf nowadays. I think he had vocal cord cancer or some sort of cancer in here or something that messed him up. So now he's doing all the convention circuits. Now he's going to, well, before 2020, he was doing all the conventions.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Because I did a convention. Where was I? I guess it was at Atlanta Comic-Con. He was here, and I really debated on whether or not to like have something signed as Doc Holliday.
Oh yeah, Tombstone.
Tombstone's my jam. I have all the Funko Pops though.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They came out with the Funko Pops for Tombstone.
Tombstone is so good. That's definitely that was one of my favorite movies. Still is to this day.
Yeah. I can watch that anytime. That one, I have so many, but I was trying to keep it to the younger stuff. And whatever you just said, listen to how fast these people are driving. You said, oh fuck, what movie? How did we get here?
Which one?
I don't know. I'm lost now.
I didn't bring up Bill and Ted's, did I?
No, that was good though.
The new one was great.
Yeah. The new one was good. I really liked that. It felt like a better version of the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Oh yeah, which
wasn't terrible.
It wasn't.
It was just it lacked anything new. Like, okay, you got daughters, or one of you's got a daughter, and here they are, and it's only daughter lead characters. We can see what you're doing with this, and it wasn't bad, but I wanted it to be. It could have been better.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I
did like Bill and Ted. I thought that was just fun all the way around. It felt as if it was written the day after they did the second one.
Yep.
Like all the dialogue felt like it fit. As corny and as cheesy as it is, it just feels like it's what it would have been. For
sure. Yes, they did a great job keeping it in that realm.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, we could talk about this all night. So let's wrap it here. I am welcome to have you anytime you want to come on the show. But 2 things I want to review real quick. Remember, everybody, KERRA Prime Handbook on Kickstarter right now. If you want to grab Loggerhead, go to scoutcomics.com. The links are going to be below. John Martin coming in late. What's up, John Martin?
John Martin's another guy that you might want to look to for cover art.
I mean, hey, I'm telling you, you pull more people that you're like, oh, I know that guy too. Oh, I know that guy too. Oh, yeah, I probably know him too. So, listen, man, hang on line a minute. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. I want to say goodbye to you offline. And then, ladies and gentlemen.
I need to tell everybody something before you make me go away.
Do it.
Stay creative.
Hashtag stay creative. That's good. Maybe I'll use that as like the thumbnail when I put it up on YouTube. It's just you pointing and being like, stay creative. And I'll just... I don't know what I'll do. I'll paste something in there. All right, man. Hang on to me just for a minute. I'll be right back as I...
Thank you for having me.
Let me sign off. Hell yeah, man. Anytime. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out in the show. Awesome to have you. This will be on YouTube here shortly. We'll be back on Sunday. But before I do that, what a cool dude Bryan SilverBaX is. Or Bax is. Like, awesome dude. I literally could have a beer or 30 with him and we would talk about things, and even though I don't think he drinks, if I'm not mistaken. So either way, the dude's super talented. He's going to be crushing more stuff from Scout. He's got other stuff. Wouldn't it be a shit show if my character ended up dropping into one of his books? Like, I'm pretty sure that would be... I think it's a new goal for me. Like, it's a new dream. I think today Bryan gave me a new dream. And that doesn't happen often because I got a lot of shit going on. But what a great dude. Great to have him here. We'll be back on Sunday with Ryan Cummins from Skeletal Press. And then we have Adam Barnhart after that, also a Scout Comics guy. And he's next Wednesday. So Wednesday to Wednesday, I think I need to get another Wednesday in there just to keep the Scout comic thing rolling. So thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for doing that. Smash that subscribe button, like the stuff, leave comments, all that stuff. And then if you like it, as always, read the content. If you like it, or if you read it and you like it, buy it. If you can't buy it, tell people about it, because that's how indies are going to crush everybody else, and that's what they need is a bigger user base. So thanks, y'all. Have a wonderful night. We will talk to y'all soon. Later.